Have you ever wondered why some women are respected, valued, and impossible to forget, while others keep chasing attention and approval? The difference is not beauty, it is the boundary they refuse to break. A wise woman does not beg for love. She creates the space where true respect begins. Today, you will discover the one boundary that changes how a man sees you forever. Here is my promise to you that I will prove it at the end of this talk. In this wisdom-filled journey, you will learn the powerful boundary that protects your peace, elevates your value, and naturally inspires deeper respect and admiration from those around you. 1. The boundary of self-respect. Why your standards define your value. There is a quiet truth about human relationships. People do not only respond to what you say, they respond to what you allow. Every person teaches others how to treat them not through words, but through repeated actions. If you constantly accept disrespect, people learn that disrespect has no consequence. If you constantly ignore your own needs, people learn that your needs are not important. If you constantly give your energy, your time, and your love without any balance, people may begin to see your giving as something they are entitled to receive. This is why the first and most powerful boundary a woman must build is not a boundary against another person. It is a boundary with herself, the boundary of self-respect. Because before you ask someone else to value you, you must first decide that you are valuable. Many people misunderstand self-respect. They think self-respect means being cold. They think it means acting superior. They think it means never caring about anyone. But true self-respect is not arrogance. It is inner stability. It is the ability to love someone deeply without losing yourself. It is the wisdom to give without becoming empty. It is the strength to stay kind without allowing kindness to become a weakness. A woman with self-respect does not need to announce her value. She does not need to say, "You should appreciate me." She does not need to convince anyone that she is worthy. Her actions already communicate this message. She knows what she accepts. She knows what she does not accept. She knows when to speak. She knows when silence is more powerful. And most importantly, she knows that losing someone is painful. But losing herself is far more painful. Many women spend years trying to become more attractive, more pleasing, more impressive, hoping that someone will finally choose them. But the deepest attraction does not come from constantly trying to be chosen. It comes from becoming someone who chooses herself. Think about a tree. A strong tree does not chase the wind. It does not run after the sunlight. It does not beg the rain to come. It simply grows deep roots. And because the roots are strong, the tree can survive storms. A woman with self-respect is the same. Her confidence does not come from how someone looks at her. Her confidence comes from knowing who she is when nobody is watching. This is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Because when you have no boundaries, love becomes fear. You start thinking, what if they leave? What if they stop caring? What if I am not enough? And from this fear, people begin to abandon themselves. They accept things they should not accept. They stay silent when their heart is hurting. They keep proving their loyalty to someone who does not respect their presence. But a wise woman understands something important. Love without self-respect is not love. It is attachment. And attachment creates suffering. When you are attached, you say, "I need you to make me feel valuable." But when you have self-respect, you say, "I know my value and I welcome someone who can appreciate it." There is a great difference between these two energies. One comes from emptiness, the other comes from fullness. A woman who respects herself does not create boundaries to punish people. She creates boundaries to protect her peace. She does not say, "I will ignore you so you feel pain." She says, "I will step back because my peace matters." This difference is very important. Many people use boundaries as weapons. They create distance to manipulate. They become silent to make someone chase them. They withdraw affection to gain control. But true boundaries are not about controlling another person. True boundaries are about controlling yourself. your reactions, your choices, your energy. A mountain does not fight the storm. It does not scream at the clouds. It does not chase the rain away. It simply stands. That is the power of inner strength. When a woman develops this kind of stability, something changes. She becomes less desperate for approval. She stops measuring her worth through someone else's attention. She stops asking, "Am I enough for them?" What? And she begins asking, "Is this situation worthy of me?" This is not selfish. This is wisdom. Because the person who abandons themselves for love eventually loses the ability to give real love. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot bring peace into a relationship if your own mind is constantly at war. You cannot create a healthy connection while constantly betraying yourself. The first responsibility you have is to yourself. Not because others do not matter, but because you matter too. A woman who knows her worth becomes powerful in a very quiet way. She does not need to compete. She does not need to prove. She does not need to chase. Her presence becomes enough. And this is where many people misunderstand attraction. They believe attraction comes from always being available, always responding, always giving, always being there. But sometimes the greatest respect is created when people understand that your presence is valuable. A precious thing is not valuable because it is hidden. It is valuable because it is rare. Your time is valuable. Your energy is valuable. Your attention is valuable. Your emotional space is valuable. When you treat these things as valuable, others learn to treat them with care. But when you give them away without awareness, others may forget their importance. This is why your standards define your value. Your standards are not walls that keep love away. They are doors that allow the right kind of love to enter. A person who truly respects you will not be offended by your healthy boundaries. They will appreciate them. Because mature people understand that a strong relationship is not built by two people losing themselves. It is built by two complete individuals choosing to walk together. Remember this. The woman who knows her worth does not become difficult to love. She simply becomes impossible to disrespect. And once you understand the power of self-respect, you discover the next level of wisdom. Because even the strongest boundaries mean nothing if you give everyone unlimited access to your energy. 2. Stop giving unlimited access. The power of emotional distance. There is a lesson that nature teaches us every day. The sun gives light to the entire world. But even the sun has distance. If the sun came too close, its power would destroy what it was meant to nurture. This is a beautiful reminder about human relationships. Giving is beautiful. Caring is beautiful. Loving deeply is beautiful. But giving without balance can destroy your own peace. Many people believe that to show love, they must always be available. They must answer immediately. They must explain everything. They must always be emotionally present. They must constantly prove their care. But wisdom teaches us something different. Not everything valuable should be easily accessed at all times. A person who has unlimited access to your attention may stop recognizing its value. This is not because people are always bad. It is because human nature often becomes comfortable with what is always available. When something requires no effort, no patience, and no appreciation, people can begin to take it for granted. This is why emotional distance is not rejection, it is balance. A wise woman understands that closeness and space must exist together. A flower needs sunlight, but it also needs space to grow. If you hold a flower too tightly because you love it, you will crush it. Sometimes love requires the wisdom to step back. Many women make the mistake of giving too much too soon. They reveal every feeling, they explain every thought, they sacrifice their routines. They make another person the center of their world, and slowly, without noticing, they lose connection with themselves. Their happiness becomes dependent on another person's mood. Their confidence becomes dependent on another person's attention. Their peace becomes dependent on another person's behavior. This is a dangerous place to live, because anything outside of your control can steal your peace. A wise woman learns to create emotional independence. This does not mean becoming heartless. It means remembering I can love you, but I do not need to lose myself in you. I can care about you, but I will not abandon myself for you. I can appreciate your presence, but my life remains meaningful without it. This energy changes everything, because desperation pushes people away, but inner stability creates respect. When someone feels that your entire happiness depends on them, the relationship becomes heavy. But when someone feels that you are already whole, they experience freedom, and freedom creates deeper connection. A strong woman does not chase attention. She creates a life that deserves attention. She invests in her growth, her knowledge, her health, her purpose, her peace. She does not sit and wait for someone to complete her story. She continues writing her own story. This is the hidden power of emotional distance. It reminds both people that love is a choice, not a prison. A relationship should be two people walking together, not one person carrying another person, not one person begging another person to stay, not one person constantly proving their worth. When you stop giving unlimited access, something interesting happens. People begin to notice your absence. They begin to recognize your contribution. They begin to understand that your energy was not something ordinary. But remember, the goal is not to make someone miss you. The goal is to stop abandoning yourself. Because if your boundary exists only to get a reaction from someone else, then you are still controlled by them. Real freedom comes when your boundary exists because you respect yourself. A wise woman does not withdraw to create fear. She creates space to maintain clarity. Sometimes distance reveals truth. When you are constantly available, you cannot see someone's real effort. You are always filling the empty spaces. You are always making excuses. You are always fixing what someone else refuses to fix. But when you step back, you allow reality to speak. You allow people to show who they truly are. Some people will come closer with appreciation. Some people will walk away because they only valued your availability. And both outcomes are valuable, because truth is always better than illusion. A person who only loves your sacrifices does not truly love you. A person who only appreciates your giving does not truly appreciate you. Real love respects your boundaries. Real connection respects your individuality. Real admiration comes when someone sees that you have the strength to stand alone. The most powerful woman is not the woman who needs nobody. The most powerful woman is the woman who can love deeply while still standing firmly within herself. She knows when to open her heart. She knows when to protect her peace. She knows when to give. She knows when to step back. This is emotional mastery. And emotional mastery is one of the greatest forms of personal power, because the person who controls their emotions controls their life. The world will always test your boundaries. People will always discover what they can receive from you. The question is not whether people will test you. The question is, will you remain loyal to yourself when they do? Because the moment a woman stops chasing approval, she enters a different level of strength. A level where her silence speaks, her presence carries weight, and her choices become a reflection of her inner value. But there is another hidden power that transforms how people see you. A power that does not come from words. It comes from the energy you protect. A woman's true power does not come from making someone obsessed with her. It comes from becoming so deeply connected with herself that she no longer needs to chase anyone's attention. Self-respect creates your foundation. Healthy distance protects your energy. And when you combine both, you become a person who naturally inspires respect, admiration, and appreciation. Remember, the world follows the standards you set for yourself. Protect your peace, honor your value, and never forget the most important relationship you will ever have is the relationship with yourself. 3. A woman who controls her energy controls the relationship. There is something every person must learn before they can truly experience peace. Your energy is your life, where you place your attention, where you place your emotions, where you place your time. These things slowly create the quality of your existence. Many people believe that relationships are controlled by words. They believe the person who talks more has more influence. They believe the person who explains more will be understood. They believe the person who gives more will be loved more. But wisdom teaches us something different. The person who controls their energy controls their experience. A woman who understands her energy does not allow every situation to disturb her inner world. She does not allow every comment to steal her confidence. She does not allow every change in someone's behavior to control her emotions, because she understands something powerful. What you allow to control your mind begins to control your life. Look around. You will notice that some people lose their peace because of things they cannot change. Someone does not reply quickly. They become anxious. Someone acts differently. They become worried. Someone gives less attention. They begin questioning their own worth. But a woman with inner wisdom learns a different way. She pauses, she observes, she does not immediately react, because she knows that emotions are like waves. A wave rises, a wave falls, but the ocean remains. Your emotions are the waves. Your inner self is the ocean. When you become the ocean, no single wave can destroy you. This is the difference between emotional strength and emotional dependence. Emotional dependence says, yo, I will be happy when someone treats me correctly. I will feel valuable when someone chooses me. I will have peace when someone understands me. But emotional strength says, my peace belongs to me. My value belongs to me. My happiness begins inside me. This does not mean a woman stops caring. It means she stops giving away the keys to her emotional world. A wise woman can love someone deeply without allowing that person to control her entire existence. This is a very important lesson, because love becomes unhealthy when you give someone the power to decide how you feel about yourself. Imagine giving another person the remote control to your mind. Every day they decide when you smile, when you worry, when you feel confident, when you feel insecure. Would you give someone that much power over your life? Many people do this without realizing it. They allow another person's actions to determine their emotional state. But true freedom begins when you take that power back. You cannot control another person's thoughts. You cannot control another person's choices. You cannot control another person's feelings. But you can always control your response. And your response reveals your level of wisdom. An immature mind reacts immediately. A trained mind observes first. There is a space between what happens and how you respond. Inside that space is your power. A person may speak harsh words. A person may misunderstand you. A person may disappoint you. But between that moment and your reaction, there is a choice. You can lose yourself in anger, or you can return to your center. You can chase explanations, or you can protect your peace. You can fight to prove your worth, or you can remember that your worth was never dependent on their approval. This is the quiet strength of a woman who controls her energy. She does not waste herself trying to convince people who have already chosen not to understand. She does not spend endless nights analyzing someone's behavior. She does not destroy her own peace trying to control someone else's actions. She understands that energy is limited, and what is limited must be protected. Think about a candle. A candle can give light, but if the flame is constantly exposed to strong winds, eventually it becomes weak. Your inner energy is the same. Constant drama, constant overthinking, constant seeking approval, constant emotional battles. These things slowly weaken your spirit. A wise woman protects her flame, not because she wants to hide her light, but because she wants her light to continue shining. This is why some women become more attractive as they become more peaceful. Their beauty is not only in appearance, their beauty comes from stability. People are naturally drawn to someone who feels grounded, someone who does not panic easily, someone who does not need constant reassurance, someone who can sit in silence and still feel complete. This kind of presence is rare, because the world is full of people searching for attention, but few people have mastered themselves. The woman who masters herself becomes powerful without trying to appear powerful. She does not need to create jealousy. She does not need to play games. She does not need to manipulate emotions. Her strength comes from discipline. Her confidence comes from self-awareness. Her attraction comes from authenticity. A person who is at peace with themselves creates peace around them. And this is why controlling your energy changes relationships. Because relationships are not only built through conversations, they are built through emotional atmosphere. When you bring insecurity into a relationship, the relationship feels heavy. When you bring fear into a relationship, the relationship feels restricted. But when you bring calmness, the relationship has room to grow. A wise woman asks herself, am I bringing peace or pressure? Am I responding from wisdom or reacting from fear? Am I connecting with this person or trying to control this person? Both. These questions reveal a great level of self-awareness, because the strongest people are not those who control others. The strongest people are those who can control themselves. A river does not force the stones to move. It simply continues flowing. Over time, the stone changes. This is the power of consistency. A woman who protects her energy does not need to demand respect. Her presence communicates it. And when you understand this power, you discover another hidden truth. Because controlling your energy is not only about what you protect, it is also about what you refuse to chase. 4. The silence of a woman who knows her worth. There is a type of silence that comes from weakness, and there is a type of silence that comes from wisdom. Many people cannot tell the difference. Weak silence comes from fear. It says, I am afraid to speak. I am afraid they will leave. I am afraid I will not be accepted. But powerful silence comes from understanding. It says, I do not need to explain everything. I do not need to prove myself to everyone. I do not need to fight every battle. This is the silence of a woman who knows her worth. A woman who understands her value does not use every moment to defend herself. She knows that truth does not always need a loud voice. A diamond does not scream to prove it is valuable. Gold does not argue with someone who does not recognize its worth. Its value exists regardless of someone's opinion. The same is true for a woman who has developed inner confidence. She does not become smaller because someone fails to appreciate her. She does not question herself because someone misunderstands her. She does not lose her identity because someone walks away, because she knows someone's inability to see your value does not remove your value. This lesson is difficult for many people, because humans naturally want to be understood. We want others to recognize our intentions. We want others to see our efforts. We want others to appreciate our love. But wisdom teaches us, not everyone has the awareness to recognize what is in front of them. A person can stand in front of a beautiful sunrise and still choose to look at the ground. Does that make the sunrise less beautiful? No. It only reveals the limitation of the observer. A woman who knows her worth stops exhausting herself trying to convince everyone. She allows people to see through their own level of understanding. This is where silence becomes powerful. Silence creates space. Space creates observation, and observation reveals truth. When you stop constantly explaining yourself, you begin noticing who actually understands you. When you stop chasing someone's attention, you begin seeing who naturally gives it. When you stop forcing connections, you discover which connections are genuine. Sometimes the greatest clarity comes when you stop making noise. A wise woman understands that not every question requires an answer. Not every insult requires a response. Not every misunderstanding requires a defense, because every reaction costs energy, and she chooses carefully where her energy goes. This does not mean accepting disrespect. It means responding with intelligence instead of impulse. There's a difference between being silent because you have no power, and being silent because you have mastered your power. A person who has no control reacts to everything. A person with control chooses what deserves their attention. The strongest warriors do not fight every enemy they see. They understand that unnecessary battles create unnecessary wounds. Life is too valuable to spend constantly proving yourself. Your time is too precious to spend convincing someone to appreciate you. Your heart is too valuable to spend chasing someone who cannot see your worth. The woman who knows her worth does not beg someone to stay. She does not threaten. She does not manipulate. She simply observes. If someone respects her presence, she welcomes them. If someone repeatedly disrespects her, she creates distance, not from anger, not from revenge, but from wisdom. Because self-respect sometimes means walking away from what continuously damages your peace. This is one of the hardest lessons in life. Many people hold on to things that hurt them because they fear losing them. But sometimes the thing you are afraid to lose is the thing preventing you from growing. A seed cannot become a tree while holding on to the comfort of being a seed. Growth requires change. Strength requires release. A woman who knows her worth understands that every ending is not a failure. Sometimes an ending is protection. Sometimes distance is healing. Sometimes silence is the answer. Because when you stop chasing what does not choose you, you create space for what truly belongs with you. The world respects clarity. And a woman who knows her worth is clear. Clear about her standards, clear about her values, clear about what she will accept. She does not need to announce these things. Her actions reveal them. Her lifestyle reveals them. Her peace reveals them. The woman who has mastered herself becomes someone people remember, not because she demanded to be noticed, but because her energy was different. Her presence carried peace. Her words carried meaning. Her silence carried strength. And when a woman reaches this level, she no longer asks, "How can I make someone value me?" She asks, "Am I living in a way that honors my own value?" Because the relationship you have with yourself becomes the foundation for every relationship you create. The world often teaches people to seek love outside, but wisdom teaches you to build love inside first. When you know your worth, you stop chasing, you stop forcing, you stop begging, you simply become. And when you become the person who respects herself deeply, the way others see you begins to change naturally. A woman's greatest power is not in controlling other person's feelings, it is in mastering her own. When you protect your energy, you protect your peace. When you understand the power of silence, you protect your value. You do not need to chase respect. You do not need to demand attention. You build yourself so strongly that your presence speaks before your words. Remember, the person who knows their worth does not need to prove it, they live it. 5. Why men respect what they cannot easily take for granted. There is a deep principle in human nature that many people overlook. People often recognize the value of something when they understand that it is not guaranteed. A beautiful sunset does not happen every second. A rare flower does not grow everywhere. A precious moment becomes meaningful because it cannot be repeated endlessly. The same principle exists in relationships. A person's presence becomes more valuable when it is appreciated, not assumed. This is not about playing games. This is not about pretending to be unavailable. This is not about creating distance to make someone suffer. This is about understanding the difference between love and unlimited access. A wise woman does not try to become difficult to reach. She simply refuses to make herself available at the cost of her own dignity. Because when someone has access to everything without effort, without appreciation, and without respect, they may slowly forget the importance of what they have. Human beings often adapt to what becomes normal. When something is always present, the mind can stop noticing its beauty. A person may have a beautiful garden outside their home, but after seeing it every day, they may walk past it without appreciation. Then one day, when the garden is gone, they finally understand its value. This is why a woman must never make her love, attention, and energy something that others can receive without awareness. Your kindness is powerful. Your loyalty is powerful. Your love is powerful. But even the most beautiful things need balance. A wise woman understands. I can give love without giving away my entire self. This is where many people lose their strength. They believe that the more they sacrifice, the more they will be loved. They believe, if I always say yes, they will appreciate me. If I always understand them, they will never leave me. If I always put their needs first, they will see my value. But relationships do not work this way. Love built only on sacrifice eventually creates imbalance. Because when one person is always giving and the other person is always receiving, the connection loses harmony. A healthy relationship is not one person constantly proving their worth. It is two people recognizing each other's worth. A woman who understands her value does not constantly ask, "What else can I do to make them choose me?" What? She asks, "Are we both choosing each other?" This question changes everything, because love is not about convincing someone to stay. Love is about creating a connection where both people willingly stay. There is a difference between being needed and being valued. Someone may need what you provide, but that does not always mean they value who you are. A person may need your attention, they may need your comfort, they may need your support, but do they appreciate your heart? Do they respect your boundaries? Do they recognize your presence? These are deeper questions. A wise woman does not only observe what someone takes from her, she observes what someone gives back. Because true connection is not measured by how much you can offer. It is measured by how much both people honor each other. This is why self-respect creates attraction. When a woman respects herself, she sends a powerful message without saying a word. My love is valuable. My time is valuable. My energy is valuable. I do not give these things carelessly. This does not make her cold, it makes her conscious. A river is valuable because it flows naturally. But if a river allows everyone to throw waste into it without protection, eventually the water becomes polluted. Your emotional world is the same. If everyone can enter your mind, if everyone can disturb your peace, if everyone can demand your attention whenever they want, soon you lose the ability to protect yourself. A wise woman creates a gate around her heart, not a wall, a gate. A wall blocks everything. A gate allows the right things to enter. This is the wisdom of boundaries. The right person will not feel offended by your standards. The right person will respect them. Because a mature person understands. A woman with boundaries is not difficult. She is clear. And clarity creates trust. Many people fear setting boundaries because they believe they will lose people. But sometimes boundaries do not push away the right people. They reveal the wrong ones. A person who only wants access to you will dislike your boundaries. A person who truly values you will understand them. This is a powerful truth. Sometimes losing someone's attention is actually gaining your freedom. Because attention without respect is not love. Presence without appreciation is not connection. A relationship should not require you to constantly shrink yourself so someone else feels comfortable. You should not have to become less intelligent, less confident, less expressive, less yourself, just to keep someone interested. The right person is not attracted to a smaller version of you. They are attracted to the person you truly are. A woman who knows this stops performing. She stops trying to impress. She stops chasing approval. She simply becomes authentic. And authenticity has a different kind of power. Because pretending requires effort, but being yourself creates peace. The woman who knows her value does not compete for attention. She understands that the right person will recognize her without being convinced. The ocean does not chase ships. Ships naturally come toward the ocean. The moon does not chase the earth. Its presence naturally creates influence. True value does not need constant advertisement, it simply exists. But there is another important lesson here. Being valued by others begins with becoming someone who chooses herself, because the woman who constantly seeks to be chosen by others often forgets the most important choice of all, choosing herself. 6. Becoming the woman who chooses herself first. The greatest transformation in a woman's life begins when she stops asking, "Will they choose me?" and starts asking, "Am I choosing myself?" This question is the beginning of inner freedom, because many people spend their entire lives waiting for external approval. They wait for someone to recognize them. They wait for someone to appreciate them. They wait for someone to finally see their worth. But wisdom teaches us, you cannot build your identity on someone else's opinion. Opinions change, feelings change, situations change, but your relationship with yourself is something you carry everywhere. A woman who chooses herself first does not mean she becomes selfish. It means she understands that she is also a person who deserves care. Many women are naturally giving. They support others, they encourage others, they forgive others, they make sacrifices for others. These qualities are beautiful. But there is a danger when kindness forgets itself. A woman can spend so much time taking care of everyone else that she forgets to take care of her own heart. She becomes everyone's source of strength, while silently becoming exhausted inside. Choosing yourself means remembering you are also someone worth protecting. Your dreams matter, your peace matters, your growth matters, your happiness matters. You do not need permission to become the best version of yourself. A wise woman understands that her life is not a waiting room. She does not sit and wait for someone to complete her. She continues growing, she continues learning, she continues becoming, because her purpose is bigger than being accepted by another person. When you choose yourself, you stop negotiating with your own worth. You stop saying, "Maybe if I become different, they will love me. Maybe if I give more, they will appreciate me. Maybe if I sacrifice more, they will finally see me." No. A woman who chooses herself understands, I do not need to become less to be loved. I do not need to abandon myself to keep someone. I do not need to chase what is meant to meet me with respect. This mindset creates a powerful energy, because confidence is not created by everyone loving you. Confidence is created by knowing you will still be okay when someone does not. This is emotional independence, and emotional independence is one of the strongest qualities a person can develop. Imagine two people standing in a relationship. One person says, "I need you because without you, I am incomplete." The other says, "I choose you because my life is already meaningful and I want to share it with you." The second person loves from strength. The first person loves from fear. Fear creates attachment. Strength creates connection. A woman who chooses herself does not love less. She loves more deeply because her love is not controlled by fear. She is not holding on to someone because she is afraid of being alone. She is walking beside someone because she genuinely values their presence. This is a completely different energy, and people can feel this energy. They can feel when someone is desperate. They can feel when someone is pretending. They can feel when someone has abandoned themselves. But they can also feel when someone is peaceful, when someone is confident, when someone is comfortable with who they are. That kind of presence is powerful, because the world is full of people searching for someone to complete them. But a person who has completed themselves becomes rare. A wise woman builds herself. She develops her mind. She strengthens her character. She protects her health. She follows her purpose. She creates a life that she respects. And when someone enters that life, they are not becoming her whole world. They are becoming a beautiful part of it. This is the difference between love and dependency. Dependency says, "Without you, I cannot survive." Love says, "I can survive without you, but I choose to walk with you." One comes from fear, the other comes from freedom. And freedom is attractive. A person who is free does not need to control. They do not manipulate, they do not beg, they do not chase, they simply live according to their values. This is why the woman who chooses herself becomes powerful. Not because she becomes unreachable, but because she becomes grounded. She knows when to stay, she knows when to leave, she knows when to speak, she knows when silence is better, she knows what deserves her energy, and she knows what does not. This is mastery, the mastery of yourself, the mastery of your emotions, the mastery of your choices. Because the greatest victory is not making someone obsessed with you. The greatest victory is becoming so connected with yourself that you no longer need obsession. You become someone who attracts respect naturally. You become someone who brings peace into relationships. You become someone who does not beg to be valued. You become someone who knows, my worth was never created by someone else. My worth was always within me. And when you truly understand this, your entire relationship with love changes. You stop chasing, you start choosing, you stop proving, you start becoming, and that is where true power begins. 6. Becoming the woman who chooses herself first. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must answer one important question. Am I living according to my own value, or am I living according to someone else's approval? This question changes everything, because many people spend years searching for acceptance outside themselves. They search for someone who will finally make them feel enough. They search for someone who will finally recognize their efforts. They search for someone who will finally say, you are valuable. But wisdom teaches us something deeper. The person who waits for others to give them value will always feel uncertain. Because other people can change, their feelings can change, their opinions can change, their actions can change. But when you build your value from within, no one can take it away. A woman who chooses herself first understands this truth. She does not wait for someone else to complete her. She does not view herself as half of a person searching for another half. She sees herself as a complete human being who is capable of sharing life with another person. This difference creates emotional strength, because love should be an addition to your life, not a replacement for your identity. A tree does not stop being a tree because another tree grows beside it. It continues standing, it continues growing, it continues reaching toward the sky. Healthy relationships are the same. Two people should grow together, not one person disappearing into the other. A woman who chooses herself understands that her dreams matter. Her goals matter, her peace matters, her growth matters. She does not feel guilty for taking care of herself because she understands. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. Destroying yourself for others is not love. Many women have beautiful hearts. They give, they support, they sacrifice. But sometimes they forget one important person, themselves. They become so focused on being a good partner, a good friend, a good family member, that they stop asking, am I being good to myself? This question is essential because the way you treat yourself becomes the foundation for how others treat you. If you constantly ignore your own feelings, you teach yourself that your feelings are not important. If you constantly break your own boundaries, you teach yourself that your boundaries do not matter. If you constantly choose everyone else before yourself, you slowly create a life where you are always last. A wise woman changes this. She learns to include herself in her own care. She learns to listen to her own needs. She learns to protect her own energy. She learns that saying no sometimes is an act of self-respect. Because every yes you give to something is a no to something else. A yes to constant drama may become a no to peace. A yes to pleasing everyone may become a no to your own happiness. A yes to chasing someone may become a no to your own growth. This is why awareness is important. A woman who chooses herself becomes intentional. She does not move through life automatically. She asks, Does this bring me closer to the person I want to become? Does this honor my values? Does this protect my peace? These questions create wisdom, because a powerful life is not built through random choices. It is built through conscious choices. A woman who chooses herself does not mean she stops loving others. Actually, she becomes capable of deeper love, because she is no longer loving from emptiness. She is loving from fullness. There is a difference. When you love from emptiness, you say, "Please complete me." When you love from fullness, you say, "I am whole and I choose to share my life with you." The second kind of love is peaceful. It is free. It is mature. A woman who chooses herself does not chase someone who does not recognize her value. She does not fight for a place where she is constantly unwanted. She understands that forcing connection creates suffering. A flower does not force itself to bloom. It grows naturally when the conditions are right. The right environment allows growth. The wrong environment creates struggle. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is walk away from what prevents you from becoming who you are meant to be. Not because you hate someone, not because you want revenge, but because you finally understand your responsibility to yourself. Your life is a precious opportunity. Your energy is limited. Your time cannot return. So choose carefully where you place your heart. Choose carefully who receives your attention. Choose carefully what deserves your effort. A woman who chooses herself becomes peaceful, and peace is one of the most attractive qualities a person can have. Because peace cannot be faked. Confidence cannot be borrowed. Inner strength cannot be performed. These things are built through daily choices. Every time you protect your boundaries, you become stronger. Every time you honor yourself, you become clearer. Every time you choose growth over approval, you become freer. This is the journey of becoming a woman of true value. Not becoming someone who needs everyone to admire her, but becoming someone who deeply respects herself. Because when you respect yourself, you naturally attract people who understand respect. When you protect your peace, you naturally move away from chaos. When you choose yourself, you create a life where love becomes a beautiful addition, not a desperate need. And this is where your true power begins. At the beginning, I promised you that you would discover the powerful boundary that protects your peace, elevates your value, and naturally inspires deeper respect and admiration from those around you. That boundary is this: never abandon yourself to be chosen by someone else. The woman who respects herself, protects her energy, and chooses herself first creates a presence that cannot be easily ignored. She does not need to chase love. She becomes someone who understands the true meaning of love. Your greatest power is not making someone obsessed with you. Your greatest power is becoming so connected with yourself that you no longer need to beg anyone to see your worth. Protect your peace, honor your standards, choose yourself. Because when you know your value, the world begins to recognize it too. If this message brought wisdom and strength into your life, subscribe to this channel for more teachings on self-respect, emotional mastery, inner peace, and becoming the strongest version of yourself.